Welcome to Gunpowder Glass, a Worlds Without Number anthology series where we follow Venators, a group of people part of an order called upon to hunt monsters, break curses, solve supernatural mysteries, and deal with problems others can't in the region of Pyrrhion. A dense, redwood-forested land that is in constant turmoil between the 6 city-states vying for larger spheres of influence, security, and wealth. The urban centers and the various factions of Pyrrhion are as cutthroat as the dark wilderness, hiding ancient technology, lost histories, and terrible beasts. These are smaller, self-contained stories that extend across multiple characters throughout the region. Content warnings for each episode can be found in the description. So grab yourself a drink, sit back, and enjoy your journey into Pyrrhion. Welcome, Jack, to Gunpowder and Glass. This is the first episode with you and your character, and we'll just do a quick little intro here of where you are. We'll get you to talk about your character, and then we'll get going. So, we find ourselves in Sojourn, which is that southern settlement in the center of Pyrrhion. It's just that from the south of Clenia. They both are these kind of rival city-states, big into mining and industry and that sort of thing. They kind of provide a lot of that for the rest of the area. Currently, you are limping your way back to the Thrice Grand Hotel. Just go get yourself patched up, shore yourself up, pick up your gear. In your possession is this gold and copper brain that you found in this underground vault beneath these burned out remains of like this former mercenary barracks. And in this expedition, you were joined by 2 members of the Scarlet Archive, a Voltameri-based academic faction, and Voltameri is that like super rich northwest city state, and there's been a lot of like their operations have been expanding around this area ever since some like artifacts and old precursor like vaults were located. But you are by yourself right now, and before we go further into what happened with all that sort of thing, do you want to tell me a little bit about your character Felicity?
So Felicity's actually from Voltameri originally, though hasn't spent almost any of her time there anytime recently. She is a professional locksmith, or was one before she was a Venator. I mean, yeah, she was doing things that were illegal, but not all the time. I mean, there's also some legitimate, like if you're contracted to go out and, pick some locks in some ruins that you have the right, someone has the rights to, whatever. But yeah, just generally like has all of the skills of thievery and legerdemainery and lock picking, et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of how she's made her money as an adult and in her teenage years, I guess. Yeah, spent a bunch of time all around the region, probably not so far south as like Getterlung or anything, but just going where there was work.
Yeah.
And I guess out of a kind of ended up just a little too much of a sense of ennui about what she was doing, and ended up signing up with the Venators for some more stability. Maybe like just we've all felt that way. You're like, I'm just working. Like, yeah, I need to do something. And that was kind of her outlet. Obviously a bit of a non-traditional skill set, if there is a traditional skill set for Venators. But yeah, has been doing jobs probably for the last few years.
Sounds good.
And is as much as she is good at what she does, she's also fairly lucky, and tends to make it out of things that she probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, and I mean I'm probably gonna be throwing a lot of stuff onto you, like, lore wise, so if you need me to repeat anything, just let me know and that sort of thing. But yeah, that makes total sense. And honestly, the vendors do kind of look for a diverse skill set in their members. So having somebody who, has a little bit of knowledge of the area, has, some background in locksmithing and lockpicking, that sort of thing, is very useful to a lot of different jobs like this. Yeah, this faction from Voltameri, the Scarlet Archive, did hire on quite a few different vendors throughout their different operations. You happen to be one of them. It's pretty decent, steady pay so far. And so where you went, I'm going to ask you sort of like a few questions. We'll sort of flesh out what happened. But there were 2 members that were with you from the Scarlet Archive called Gad and Krell. While you guys were down there underneath this old burned out remains, the 3 of you made your way through like these cramped chambers until you guys found yourselves in a treasury with this brain that you saw. It was sort of like in a pedestal right in the middle of this like sort of
Indiana Jones
stuff.
Sort
of like a brick room. There were like electric lights in there. Like it seemed like it was definitely one of the older places that some that are not super common but are starting to be found more and more. However, while you're in there, the brain actually spoke to you, like into your mind, like telepathically connected with you, and it kind of both warned you of the ancient security system that's guarding this vault, and it also warned you of the malevolent intentions towards you from the two Scarlet Archive members that seem to have evolved as soon as they actually came across something of value. It seems like the way they reacted, they kind of knew what this thing was to some extent. However, the brain promised to help you escape if you promised to help reunite with its body. I'm just curious, what else did the brain promise you in return for helping it out? And you can be vague, can be specific, it's up to you.
I mean, presumably it, knows something of what I would want, I would imagine. So, like, I mean, presumably something on the surface level, like probably riches. Like,
yeah.
I mean, though maybe not just because I want to be rich, but
yeah, riches. I mean, it also. I mean, it seems from obviously from its own make and how it's talking to you that like it has a level of technological intellect where it could have promised you perhaps some sort of like, I don't know, refined gunpowder or attachment it could make for your gun, or maybe some sort of stuff that could help you with lockpicking or defense or whatever it might be, something like that. If it's straight up riches, there might be something that it could be like, oh, I know where like an old store of like money or like jewels are or something, but also I've been like, hey, I know like I can give you the schematics for something that you might want to help you in your future travels.
And I think I would have been. Maybe all of that, because I don't think she would have been that receptive to that immediately.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair.
That doesn't, because that feels, it feels like a trap, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if it's trying to help and if it's right.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, yes, I would say that it both can give you schematics and it also promises to give you sort of like the location of maybe some old artifacts that might not be of much use to you, but could be sold for a super high price to one of like the academic factions of Ultimary, which are completely flush with cash. So yeah, so I mean, if you did end up taking that for a pretty hefty return, if it seemed like this is pretty fishy, you better like be promising me a lot. During this escape, the two Scarlet Archive members were either severely injured or killed in the escape. Either like severely injured to the point of being immobile. I'm just wondering, did you kill them? Did the ancient security system kill them? Did they try and like attack you? Did that like was the malevolence completely true, or did things happen too fast really to know like what went down while you were in there?
Probably the latter. So like things happened quickly. I didn't do anything of my own accord, like I didn't stab them or anything or shoot them, but it happened quickly enough that the entire journey back, well, you're trying not to think about it, right? You're alone. But also being like, well, I don't think that I actually did anything. Did I like leave someone to die? Could I have helped? But it's all too blurry, and I'm still kind of processing it. Yeah,
it's very traumatic events, so like just it's kind of hard to actually remember all the fine details.
And I'm also still doing a job, kind of. Right?
Yeah,
like because actually, how does this affect whatever my actual like contract was?
Well, I guess we'll have to see. Yeah, because right now where we're going is sort of you leaving the vault. You're back, like you're just underneath the city, so now you're back up on top of the city, and like I said, you're limping back. So we'll see where things play out that way. Whether you did anything or not, it seems like a lot of the vault collapsed. It seemed like maybe some like autonomous kind of weapons and like electrical sort of like discharges went off. A lot of bad things happened where you grabbed the brain, fucking booked it out of there. Things were collapsing. It maybe showed you some like paths to get out, and you're back. But in that escape, I want to know, what injury did you sustain, and like how did that happen while you were trying to get out of there? Because you're obviously limping and you're not like in your best shape as you're getting back to your hotel.
Right. Well, I have my eye bandaged up, my left eye, thankfully, not my shooting eye.
Yeah.
Probably part of the reason that things are so hazy is that there was an explosion at some point. And if this were a movie, it would be you just hear the tinnitus ring as there were too many snap cuts of me like stumbling out of the vault and trying to run.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the explosion, I mean, it didn't like. I'm not necessarily.
No, you're not
blind or anything.
No. Like, I was just wondering, like, if during this it was not a clean escape by any means.
No.
And I feel like maybe
I mechanically still have full HP.
yeah. I feel like it's probably maybe a running kind of thing, Felicity, that there's a lot of jobs you've come through where you probably have a lot of scars or a lot of like you're a little bit beat up over time to the point of like almost like a darkly comical degree of like.
Right. It's like when fucking when does that happen in the Batman where he takes off like and he just has fucking scars all over him because you just get like little cuts and stuff, right? Like you've never been really badly beaten, but whatever, you barely escaped the trap, and it
Yeah.
sheared your clothes and gave you and so it's just scars. It's just like, a lot of superficial scars, and tissue that would probably get a skin graft
Yeah.
in the modern era. Get birds and stuff.
Perfect. Yeah, and I mean that's pretty common in your line of work. There's a lot of people who have like mechanical prosthetics and things like that from a lot of a lot of bad mishaps. It's well paying work, but it's well paying for a reason. But yeah, so as you're getting back, it's gonna be a little bit before you get back to your hotel. From what you spoke to with the brain so far, and we can go into a bit of a dialogue here, but from what I mentioned, what's mentioned so far is that it does not remember a lot of its past. It's had to sort of turn off parts of its memory to save energy so that it was able to. So it explains it almost as like tapping into like the currents around the vault, into the minds of the people like walking over the vault on the streets and that sort of thing. Just trying to keep an idea of what the hell's going on, where they are, because it seems like he's been here for the last few centuries. He's been entombed in this vault, so it's been here for quite a while. And so I don't know if you have any questions for him. I can give you some more information that he might have given you, but I don't know if you have any specific questions you want to ask before any of that. As he's trying to like maybe...
Yeah, I think initially I would have been very stubbornly ignoring anything that it said after I got out, because it's just like, yeah, you helped me, but also like, I'm not 100% sure whether this didn't cause that stuff to happen as well. Like maybe it initiated the security systems to get itself out.
Yeah,
and it's just using me, and so Felicity's like, spent most of the trip back, it's shoved in her pack, and she's been stubbornly ignoring it.
Okay. Sounds good. All right.
I don't know if it's still tried to say anything to me that's of note.
Yeah, it does. I'll say it. I would say if you're ignoring a lot of the stuff that it's going on about like its sort of background or something like that, that's totally fine. I will say that probably one thing that it mentions as part of like whatever deal you made with this, and it's up to you on how much you want to actually follow what it says, or if you're going to do your own thing with all this, obviously. But it does mention that from sort of tapping into like the different people around, he has picked up on that apparently over in the other city in Klenia, there is a power source in a museum that sounds, from the details and from the things you can pick up, seems like it's very much the same sort of power source that if it's not his, it's one of something of a very similar make that could work for him, because he doesn't seem to know where his body is, and he's sort of like in a powered down mode where he doesn't really have access to a lot of the data he needs to actually figure out where to sort of direct you to take him to his body. And he mentions that, where it's like, there's I think some museum called the Verdant Museum across the river, and I think if you can find that out or take us there, maybe we can figure out what to do next.
I think I finally answer, and I'm like, I still haven't decided what to do with you, so can it for now. I need to figure things out.
Yeah,
that wasn't exactly the kind of escape I wanted to make, and everything's gone to shit.
Yeah,
so. You're not making any of the decisions here right now.
No, perfect.
To make that clear.
Yeah. He seems respectful of this, where he's like, all right, fine, but he's just like, I don't know, that this isn't looking good for you. He's not saying that like in a threatening way, but like in just almost like an objective, like, oh, like the way things have played out now, there's potentially 2 dead archive members, so this might not be the best look here, with you gone from it. Because let's say maybe when you stumbled away, it could have just been like the thing where you said like you're kind of like going away from an explosion, where you're kind of like in a bit of a trance. You're almost just like on autopilot, just heading back to somewhere like familiar.
Yeah, I think again, it's kind of like goading me into respond. It has goaded me, whether it intended to or not, into responding, and I'm just kind of like, I know how to handle situations like this. Okay, like this isn't the first time I've been in almost this exact situation before. I have things well under control, as much as I always do.
Yeah, he's like, oh, well, all right, well, I'll trust
I
you.
use swift misdirection to lie to the brain in this scene.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of just takes that as like, all right, I'm getting the gist here, and he seems to actually like stay quiet now. And you make your way back. You're going through the different streets, and you make your way back to the Thrice Grand Hotel. Your room is on the 2nd floor. So are you heading straight for your room? Are you going to like a bathhouse to get cleaned up? Or are you just gonna go there because like you're a little bit hurt and you have some like supplies and stuff in your room if you want to go back there? I don't know what your plan is, or if you...
Yeah, I'd probably head up just to get cleaned up. I mean, I assume I have at least one change of clothes.
Yeah.
I'm probably covered in fucking soot and dust and shit. need to clean my bandages and reapply them and things like that.
No,
So it's
sounds
kind of
good.
slapped something over, a poultice that I had over my eye. Need to
Yeah,
do something a little better than that.
Yeah, you stumble back into like the lobby, and like you see the receptionist there. He's just like, oh, okay. As you kind of walk up the stairs, and you're just like covered in dust and like in soot. Yeah, you make your way back up to your room, and you're getting yourself cleaned up. Is there before I go on any further, is there anything that you're doing in particular while you're in here? Is there anything that you're trying to figure? I don't know if you're talking to the brain, or if there's anything that you want to do.
I mean, I leave it in the bag. I don't take it out
Mhm.
in my satchel or whatever backpack.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think I mostly I get cleaned up. Like I ask for some hot water and take a shower or a bath or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if is there plumbing in this
Yeah,
setting?
I'd say this is this is like sort of like a mid-range kind of hotel. It's not like super.
Okay.
It's the
They have
kind
like a boiler.
Yeah, like the name Thrice Grand is kind of like how you'll have like, pharmacy liquor with like deluxe on it. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, yeah, no,
Right.
it's
Yeah, it's the 5-star motel.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, it was 3 times previous to this. It was grand, but not anymore.
We've gotten 5 stars over the last 10 years. We've been able to get a single star.
Repeatedly getting 1 and 2 star reviews.
Yeah, I would say there's probably like a bath down the hall. And yeah, so you get yourself just cleaned up, get yourself into a new change of clothes. Can you give me a notice check, Jack? 11. Okay.
Notice too, so
yeah. That's really good. Yeah, so while you get back in your room now, you button yourself up, and you get your stuff together and kind of have packed on some healing supplies, and you notice out the window, you see what looks like 2 Scarlet Archive members with 6 Sodran guards. It looks like the 2 Scarlet Archive members have rifles in their hands, and the 6 guards have spears. And you see them stop outside the building, and they start talking to each other. And you see a Scarlet Archive member and 2 guards start to go into the hotel. The other Scarlet Archive member and 2 other guards sort of just stay out in the front. And it seems like a guard on each side kind of goes like around the building. And you notice this, and it's like, and I'd say you've noticed this at the time that like they've started to enter the building. So what do you want to do?
These aren't the guys. Obviously, the first thing I would do is I'd make sure these aren't the guys.
No, they're not. It seems I would say that you've come across like they have pretty big operations. I'd say you've come across people before. You might not know their names, but like you can tell that like judging by their demeanor and like maybe like by like some symbols that they're probably like higher ranking. But they look like they're like pretty formal looking and pretty stern as they head in. But yeah,
what's the Scarlet Archive's deal generally? Like, also like, what do these guys wear?
So they wear mostly like sort of basically I would say like gambesons or just sort of like decent armor. They have obviously scarlet colors that go across scarlet and white.
Right.
You pick them out pretty well. They are essentially I would say from the outside they're seen as pretty like upstanding and I guess like held in high regard. But from your dealings with them, you don't see much difference between these guys and regular mercenary kind of thugs that you've dealt with in the past. Like they're a little bit better spoken and they have a bit more money, but they're pretty as brutal as most people you've come across in Pyrrhion.
Right. I'm just getting vibes of not that I've ever played any of them, but just from the Civi videos of like the Hammerites or the builders or whatever. Yeah. What's their like, I get that they're like, not necessarily mercenaries, but like a business, right? Like with a standing force. Like, what's their deal? Like, what do they do?
So they essentially, what's been happening right now, there's been kind of like, ever since some of the older kind of like old empire like vaults and laboratories and just kind of like artifacts have been uncovered, there's been kind of like this gold rush between these different sort of Voltimeri academic factions that are sort of basically going through Pyrrhion. There's been loads of like battles and fights and skirmishes that have come out. There's been assassinations. This is like, there's some really powerful artifacts that have been found and so it's been a pretty big race of like to get as fast as you can and get out kind of thing where it's
Right. Yeah. It's like you formed some research group that's going to, we're going to grab all these artifacts and do research on them.
And that's
never mind that we could use that to gain a bunch of political
Exactly.
and economic power.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I mentioned,
okay.
like Felicity before dealing with them probably had that. It's probably they're probably very good at PR with a lot of people, where it's like, oh, we're doing this for like knowledge and the
Right.
education and everything
People
else.
only see what they want you to see.
Exactly, but you
So
dealing with them are like, oh no, these like you've probably seen them maybe beat people for failing before. You've seen them be pretty brutal. It's a pretty cutthroat business. They've been paying pretty well, but it's yeah, they haven't. It's been pretty not great work environment, I guess, but like what is in your line of work?
so they did hire me, but I'm immediately getting, and I already had good reason, like you said, to have real bad vibes from this.
Yeah.
I assume there's like one specific person from their faction that hired me, right?
Yeah.
And they're not among these.
No,
The
they're not.
two
They're
of
not
them that I
here.
saw.
I'd say that was probably just some person who maybe even went through like the Vander like channels where it's kind of like, oh, you showed up and like, oh, here you're going this, and I'd say you maybe have gone through a few different places before with them, but nothing you found has been to the level of like this brain. Like, this brain's like the way it's made, like in terms of like the technology level of Pyrrhion, like you don't know anybody who can make something this intricate and strange. Like it's obviously a precursor artifact. It's not
Right.
Yeah, so it seems like the tone I would say between the two guards or the two members you were with when you guys found the brain did change as soon as like you guys were in that vault. There was like a vibe change in the room, which could also just be the brain speaking your head. So it's
Sure. It's all the same. It's all
Yeah.
just subjective. So yeah, I don't know, because like on one hand, it's like I could just wash my hands of this in theory if they're just here to collect what what the contract was for, but also this stinks. Like this stinks to high heaven, and
yeah.
yeah, I'd probably hesitate a little bit. I mean, I still quickly like get all my shit ready, put my coat back on, check that my musket is loaded,
Yeah.
and sling the pack up, which has the brain in it, which is wrapped up and beneath some other stuff. It's because it's like too big to just like shove into a pocket or something.
Yeah, the brain's probably like that's not like it's probably like the size of like a human brain, honestly. It's not like huge, but like it's
this,
like two fists.
2 fists.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like gigantic. It's not like super heavy or anything either. It's pretty easy to throw into somewhere, but you do definitely need.
Well,
like,
it's a good thing I'm not wearing women's clothing, so I have pockets.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just a big bulge, right? Like
Is that a mechanical brain in your pants? Or you just happy to see me?
Yeah.
But because my initial thought would be to like if it were reasonable to hide it on my person and not in my backpack somewhere, because I mean I don't want to like just immediately flee to the roof or something. That feels a little premature. But I also don't, I don't want to just be shaken down by these guys in the hallway and have nothing to show for it. Because usually, showing up with armed guards does not mean you just intend to pay me and leave.
Oh yeah, this is like a show of force. Like I mean, and clearly they didn't intend for you to see them. Like the way they moved was like you guys go there.
So I have a better reason to assume that they knew what was going to be there.
Yeah.
Given that now that I'm back here. Yeah, okay.
And I would say, I'm just going to put this as part of your insane notice check there. The brain doesn't say anything, but I would say you almost feel like as soon as you noticed and saw them, there's almost like an anxiety, like sort of like feeling you get from the brain as soon as you kind of like are in this situation. It seemed not chill before, but it seems like you almost feel like it didn't intend for you to feel the anxiety that it's coming off of it once it knew that, oh shit, these guys are here.
I don't like it. It unsettles me. Like I note that, and then I'm like, you need to calm down. You're making me nervous, and I'm not nervous. I don't get nervous. Like,
yeah, and it's just like, listen, they cannot get their hands on me. Like, if they might already have my body if they are able to control me somehow. Like, I'm gonna be honest. If I'm reunited with my body, I'm extremely powerful, and they cannot have control over me. That could create severe issues.
Okay. I pack my stuff up. I put the brain in a side. My bag has like some extra stuff tied to it, like my powder, like my ammo and powder equipment, my like rifle.
Do you have like a bandolier or anything like that, where like you might have like, or is it like do you have it all just
in
one bag?
It's probably like a combination. Like I wasn't thinking like backpack. I was thinking like shoulder bag that you can pull around really easily and get stuff out of, and then obviously the rifle's on like a sling.
Yeah,
but Yeah, I have like some of the extra pieces of it are just strapped on, right?
Yeah.
And in one of the small ones, I strapped together. I put the brain in one of them and strapped that together with the powder stuff, so the the greater bulk of the pack does not have the important things in it,
Yeah.
just in
Makes
case
sense.
I need to snatch it off and leave. If you know, but also I have the ability to magically convince people that I know that I'm telling the truth temporarily. So I'm not gonna like immediately bolt to the roof. I'm just getting ready to have to make an escape. But I'm gonna they're gonna come up and presumably try to talk to me or something.
Yeah.
And see how that goes. I
Sounds
can buy
good.
myself 10 seconds of leeway if need be.
Sounds good. Yeah. So so you're gonna wait for them to come up to the second floor?
Yeah, I don't wait in my room. I go out into the hallway because
Okay.
there's just
You don't want to be
more
trapped
ways of
in a room here.
egress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to jump out the window or something.
Sounds good. Yeah. So you are able to go in the hallway here, and like these are kind of like they're kind of like the stairs that go up almost like in a square formation where it kind of goes up. So do you
Yeah.
have the stairs leading upstairs like behind you? Like, are you trying to keep that open? Or are you trying to keep the ground floor open to you? Like, where are you sort of placing yourself when they
How big is this? Like, how tall is this building? Is it like 3 stories or
3 stories? Yeah.
something? Okay. Yeah, it's not like I can jump off the roof, but
You
we're in
couldn't
like
jump off the roof
tight.
to the ground, but there are surrounding buildings. This is one of
Okay.
those places where like
Yeah.
a lot of buildings are kind of squat up next to each other, like a lot of older cities
Right.
were.
Right. Right.
So you might, I mean,
Yeah.
it still would be dangerous, but it's not like once you get up there, you're trapped. At least you would probably think.
Right.
I imagine Felicity is the type of person that sort of keeps an eye of where they are at all times, where it's like, I'm always gonna.
Yeah. Well, especially in this situation, I'd be like ready for shit to go
Yeah.
south.
Your +2
Yeah.
notice is like. I feel like that probably is a good example of a lot of things that you're probably doing just like passively.
Yeah, just running through. It's the Sherlock Holmes, the Robert Downey Jr. one thing where I'm just like, yeah, you notice fucking everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's like walking past and being like, all right, yeah, that door's unlocked. Like I can tell
Yeah.
from the position of the handle. Like I could go into that room. Like
Yeah.
these stairs exit. Like I noticed that you can see the exit of the stairs up to the roof. It faces east, or
Yeah.
all that shit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you go out into the hallway, and as you go out into the hallway, the Scarlet Archive member and the two guards are walking up the stairs, and the Scarlet Archive member goes like, "Oh, Miss Felicity, just the one I was looking for." And he sort of, I wouldn't say squares up to you, but gets within like probably maybe like 10 feet. And the two guards, you see them kind of like, they have spears, and they're not like pointed at you, but you definitely see them kind of like tense up as soon as like
Yeah, they're ready for a
addressed.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah. The member says, we found the bodies of two of our men down in the vault. This doesn't look good for you, but you know, we're willing to look the other way if you give us what's on your person. We know from the empty pedestal that there was something there, and there's nothing on their bodies or in the rubble.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about. We got in there and it was empty, and there was an explosion, and I literally just got back here. I mean, I like point to my bandaged eye, and I'm like, like I limped my way back here on my own. Like there wasn't anything there, and I had nothing to show for it other than two corpses.
So you wouldn't mind if we checked your person? And I don't know, you said you have a bard ability, so I don't know if you're using something here to try and convince them or not before anything goes
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide how I want to play that, because it's so swift misdirection is that I can commit effort for the scene as a main action and target one person, no more than one sentence, as long as it's reasonable. It's not impossible. They have to mental save or believe it for a round. So
Okay.
it's like, I don't buy myself, like, I guess we're within a scene, not in combat, so it could last longer.
This is,
but
this is a dialogue scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he says that, and if you're not doing anything just yet, he just sort of like grunts to one of the guards to walk up to you. It looks like he's gonna try and like search you, or like he's about to like do that. He's within like 5 feet now of you, the guard with the spear. The spear is kind of like no longer like in both hands. He's kind of like putting it to the side because he looks like he puts his hand out for you to like give him your bag.
Yeah, I want to say something to the effect. I'm trying to see if make sure that they knew what was supposed to be there, or what was there. So I want to say something to the effect of like, whoa, like, I told you, like, it was empty. Like, somebody had already armed the security system. Like, whatever it was that was there. I'm trying to like goad him into essentially doing the thing where it's like,
Yeah,
you make them say like, yeah, the brain, and I'm just like, I didn't say
I
anything
see
about brain.
I see what you're saying. You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say giving you a perform check, maybe. I think that would fall under either perform or convince. If you're kind of
Okay.
just sort of like if you're trying to like if you're doing like the sort of like Galish Galop sort of thing, where maybe you're saying some things just trying to like make him sort of
Galish galop.
yeah.
That's my favorite Yiddish dessert.
Yeah.
A galish galop. Gish gallop, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I prefer Galish Galop.
Galish galop. It's like something my Slovakian grandmother would
Yeah.
have made me.
Oh, Jack, why you know eat the
My
Galish
Galish
Galop? I made it just for you.
Yeah, do you think charisma or wisdom for that? Probably charisma, right?
Yeah, charisma or wisdom are totally fine. I'd say charisma probably fits better.
All right. 14.
14. Yeah,
That's the other skill I have at a 2. It's perform.
Yeah, you say that, and he sort of, you see him almost get like, you kind of trip him up a little bit, and he gets kind of like, loses his temper for a second, where he goes, that's impossible. The brain had to be, I mean, we knew there was an artifact there from our intelligence, so I don't believe you. I think you have something on you, or you put it somewhere, and if you let us check your bag, or perhaps you want to come down to us back to our headquarters, it's your choice. We've already told the guards here that you are perhaps the reason why those two ended up dead. Does not look good for you either way.
Yeah, and obviously, I catch that, but like, oh, come on. I mean, you're really throwing a lot of accusations around here. I mean, I was there. You weren't there. I mean, why would you have any reason? I'm like open my stance up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know why you wouldn't believe me. I mean, I'm a Venator. I'm hired to, I'm start making things up about the Venator oath.
Yeah,
come on, like it's, you hired me, like we signed a contract. It's part of my oath that I have to be truthful with you. It's not. And I don't know why. And then I fucking book it up the stairs.
You just book it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so you book up the stairs. Are you doing anything like, are you kicking them back into each other? Are you like doing anything at all to try and slow them down? Or are you just going to try and book it for upstairs?
So I have my criminal tools, which is, I forget what it's thief stuff and like your classic D&D, whatever,
absolutely,
what have you. So, and I've obviously I had expected to need to do this. I'm doing some home alone shit. I'm like throwing ball bearings down the stairs.
Oh, I love it. Okay. All right. Yeah. So since you have that, you rip that out of your pack and you just throw a bunch of ball bearings like down and down the stairs as you go up. I'd say give me an exert check, and I would say because you're throwing ball bearings down, just to sort of, I think, translate to you. Giving yourself a bit of an advantage. I'll give you a +1 on this roll as well. As you throw like a bunch of ball bearings down and crap as you book it.
Dex would probably make sense as opposed to strength.
Yeah, I'm good with Dex or strength, whichever one you want to go with. 11, right. Good God. But yeah, so you do that, and the guards run right after you. Both of them very comically, I would say, like very Home Alone-y. They both slip on the same stair, like clonk both their heads together as you start running up the stairs and getting to the 3rd floor. The Scholar Archive member yells out, like down below, like to the receptionist that he like sees down, like, get the other ones! She's making a run for it! And you make it up to the 3rd floor. You see there looks like there's windows on this floor that you could try and like jump out if you want to. And there's also what looks like a roof access. Like it looks like there's some sort of, we'll say like a handyman like coming down the ladder just as like you're booking it around the corner. So where do you want to go? There's also some rooms here.
Probably up to the roof. I don't have any desire to throw myself through a window.
Sounds good.
So of course I get on the ladder, and then the ladder animation is really slow, and I have to do that Dark Souls single punch up to knock the handyman off the ladder.
So you we'll make this part of your exercise.
Falls off.
Yeah. So you jump up and he falls down just like, oh, what the hell, as he hits the ground. As you're going up the roof access, you see what looks like the Scarlet Archive member flies up through like the gap. Like he didn't take the stairs. He just flew up and then landed back down onto the 3rd floor and then starts running after you. And you see him running towards you as you get up to the to the roof.
I'm like, oh, they're not all mages, right? That's not normal.
No. Mages are common in Pyrrhion, but they're not like, it's not like everybody is a mage here now.
Right. I was just like, the Scarlet Archive are not all mages.
The two guys,
okay.
the two guys you work with were definitely just like the guys who died. They were just guys with weapons. They were just grunts.
I get a great one more thing to have to deal with.
Yeah.
So one thing I think that's probably important to ask. So obviously I'm like, well, I don't trust these guys. Like, this is something really important, but I'm not just doing this because I want money, obviously. No. Like, I could just give it to them and they would probably pay me or kill me or whatever. Yeah. But like, I, feel some, I can't think of the word, but like, this is too much, right? Like, this is clearly like important beyond what I should just hand to them. Mm-hmm. Who would I like want to go to with that? Like, do the Venators have is there something where it's like, okay, don't let this kind of stuff happen? Like, it's also like you're doing some, for the greater good peacekeeping that can overrule just like being like a witch man.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of it comes down to the Venators kind of trust their members to sort of use their heads. So I would say in general, probably a lot of them would go, what you're doing is the right thing here. So I'll just basically Felicity decide how you see things should be. A lot of them would be like, no, what you're doing right now is the right thing. Like, the brain has mentioned, like, I'm part of a powerful artifact thing. Like, if the wrong hands get me, this is a really, really bad thing for a lot of people. And then there's other ones who might say, like, oh, like, you're doing a job and whatever else. But at the same time, the scales have been tipped somewhat by the fact that it seems like they've had, if not murderous, then malevolent intent towards you, where they haven't really gone with this like, hey, we paid you for a job, give us what's ours. Yeah. It's been like pretty aggressive. So
I don't have a good reason to believe they would just pay me and let me go.
Yeah.
So that probably is enough for me to go at my own discretion. Yeah, I'm breaking the contract.
Yeah.
Like, gonna stab me probably.
Absolutely. That's the thing. So it is kind of up in the air what the best thing to do is. So I like leave that fully up to you. In terms of like, if you're looking for backup and that sort of thing, if you're like not totally sure what you're like where to go, there is Fort Aurora, which is very far away, but the closest Vander embassy is in Carkea over to the west, over in the Druid City State. So like, from what you know, there might be other Vanders in the city and they might help or might not help, but overall, in terms of like knowing where for sure where the Vanders are, you're kind of by yourself right now as well.
So yeah, but I would presumably have some contact. Yeah, you have, okay, I think this person will know what to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, you totally have contacts that it's up to you. They might be Vanders, they might not be, but you definitely, I would say from what you said about Felicity, she seems to probably have some people who might know like a safe house or might know what to do or whatever else. So I'll leave that up to you in terms of just the RP thing of like, who do you know in town?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a fair share of archaeology, presumably throughout, because Felicity's like in her late 20s, right? So she's been doing this professionally for probably over a decade. And
being Vander opens up a lot of doors for you as well.
Sure, yeah. Even though I think probably only the last couple of years, but even then. So she knows people who know things about, pre-tech stuff. What did you call it?
Like precursor past empire stuff.
Yeah, presumably, like, that's a lot of the tombs are that, or some percentage of them are that. So there's some expert that I know that I'm like, okay, I at least need to get a general idea of what this is, because like, I don't want to trek halfway across the fucking province if they're gonna tell me like, yeah, whatever, it's this thing, but it clearly feels important, but like, I need to know what it is. So that's my plan, is to be like, well, I want to lose them first, obviously, and then get to this person.
Okay, yeah, no, I think that totally makes sense. So in terms of like just for your own RP of who you want to come up with here, the naming scheme for the Twin Cities is Italian or like Latin. So if you have ideas of who you might know, you can come up with like a Latin name, or so you come up with a Latin name or an Italian name if you want.
Yeah. So this contact is Umberto. Like Umberto.
Yeah.
He's a watchmaker by trade.
Ooh.
Or does that kind of work. It's like watchmaking, probably for people who have wheel locks. He maintains those, or any kind of fine mechanisms.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as a result, he has a special interest in precursor artifacts, because a lot of them are like, he's like, how would you even make this?
Yeah.
Like, and he talks way too much, but I've learned when to cut him off, strategically interrupt him, so that I don't end up having my ears talked off.
Perfect. Yeah. So I would say that Umberto has his shop over like in the probably like in the market district, which is probably in
Mhm.
like the east part of the city. So you have an idea of like you know where it is from where you are now. You've probably
Right,
want to go
right.
visit him at some point while you've been here for whatever reason, you know. So as you get up to the top of the roof here, you see a few different ways out of here. If you're looking around, it looks like there's the classic kind of drain pipe that just leads straight down to the first floor. You're seeing that you might be able to make a jump from this building to one of these side buildings over there. And then you also see like a sort of like, I guess, kind of like a clothing line, but some sort of like cord that's going from this building all the way across the street to another building that looks like it's
Right.
on their way out of here. And if you have any questions or anything else you're looking at, I can give you some other options out of here
Is
as
there a
well.
conveniently placed hay cart down
Yeah, yeah,
beneath so
yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah,
Assassin's
yeah,
Creed my way up the building?
yeah. Yeah, you see a hood guy just running across the rooftops.
Why do they wear white? It's so visible.
Yeah.
Well, I know that they're down on. There's at least whatever 3 more guys on the first floor,
Hmm.
or on the ground level. So I wouldn't be looking to get down, unless I wanted to get into like an actual fight, which I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll use the line that's
Okay.
strung between the buildings.
Sounds good. Yeah. So are you like putting like your rifle over it and sliding down that way? Are you just going to like
How could
crawl?
I? I couldn't do that to my gun. No, I probably honestly have like a pulley that's
Yeah.
part of my thieves' tools
Ooh,
to
yeah, yeah.
just
Yeah.
yeah
Sounds
push my,
good.
or even just like a carabiner, like a metal clip would
Yeah.
work. Yeah,
Yeah, you just pull it right off your bag and you just like you clip it onto it.
and I kick myself off. Yeah,
This is
and
yeah,
slide
clearly
down.
not the first time you've done this. Yeah, so I would
No.
say that like this rope is probably rough with the amount of weight you just put on it. As the guy flies up onto, he's like, Felicity, stop! You start heading down there. So I'd say give me yeah, just an dex exert check. As like you just get yourself, you're trying to get on there quickly, clip it on, jump off, and head to the other side. 9. Okay, man, you keep rolling like crazy. Yeah.
I built this character to do a thing, and so I have skills in all these things. But yeah, I'm rolling really well.
Yeah, so no, that's perfect. Yeah, so you fly right across, and you could tell that like if you were even off by a little bit, you probably would have gone flying through one of the windows on the second floor here. But you're able to
Mhm.
fly up and like grab onto the wall and unclip yourself. You see that like the distance this seems like it's a little bit too far for where this guy can fly to, and you see him kind of just
Mhm.
fly to like one of the side buildings. He seems to sort of like just doing these like quick kind of leaps from building to building trying to get towards where you are. You have given up a lot of distance between you and him. Everybody else seems to be like not able to keep up. You see them running out of the hotel and running through the streets trying to get towards like the alleys and other places that you're at, but it seems
Yeah.
like this race is between you and that one flying guy.
Okay. I don't want to like execute a man in broad daylight. So
Yeah, there's a lot of people around too on the ground. Like not that you'd hit them, but like
yeah.
there's probably if a gunshot goes off, there could be mass panic, which could go either way. But
Yeah. I also don't have a reason. I probably couldn't, defensively shoot him, frankly.
yeah,
Like,
he
yeah, he
hasn't
was
pointed his rifle
chasing
at you
me.
yet, but he seems to be
Yeah.
trying to get towards you. But like he might, from where he is, trying to fire off a musket where he's at is not really the the best
Right.
call. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, since we're able to outpace the guys on the ground, I would say I'd be looking for somewhere to get low because it's just easier to hide when you're not on the rooftops.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I would say you're on the rooftop here. This is a much smaller building, obviously, than the hotel was,
Right.
and you're running across it while the other guy's trying to get to you. I would say this building, like as you go further in, where like the guys on the ground can't see you anymore, you can hop to some other rooftops. It looks like there are some balconies on the lower floors of some of these buildings you could probably jump to. You could again perhaps jump down into the alleyways. They start to like snake off and go crazy, so you might be able to lose them in the alleyways. So you have a few options here if. Depending on what you want to do.
Yeah, I probably would jump down to one of the lower balconies, just get like a floor down.
Okay.
Yeah, you said this isn't like a super nice part of town,
No,
right?
no, no. This is like this. No, it's not like slums, but it's like residential area with like lots of people are here that like go off to the mines and everything else. So it's like
Right,
a
right.
lot of families, a lot of different people. So, yeah,
So is this like a apartment balcony, or is it like a
yeah,
business?
pretty much like an apartment balcony where like you
Okay.
have enough space. Like there's not like it's like kind of where you'd go out like to smoke. So like there's enough space
Yeah.
to jump
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
but like you don't have like a lot of footing here. So I'm not gonna make you roll a check for this though. It's not too hard from where you are to jump down onto one.
Yeah, yeah.
So are you going to like break through into this apartment? Are you going to like keep getting further down if you can? What's your What's your plan here?
Yeah, I think going inside is probably better to just get me out of sight for a bit.
Okay.
But like to make my way down, go inside. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So you, the balcony is not locked. This is like a second or third floor balcony.
Yeah. Like why would you?
So,
Who's
so
gonna steal from you a large bird?
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. And there's just a guy there who's like, classic dumb movie thing. There's like almost like a half naked guy. There's like, what? as you just jump through into here.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. This is a very small squat apartment. You immediately see the front door, and you jump through here, swing the balcony open, and then get the door open. And this just has like stairs that just shoot right down, so you can run down to there if you want. There's also some windows, depending on if you're gonna try and stay on like the. I don't know if you're balcony hopping or if you're gonna try and like get to the ground floor.
Oh god, that's so fucking. It's like some real parkour shit
Yeah.
to jump down across the stairs. No, I'm just running down the stairs.
Sounds good. Yeah, yeah. I would say you've rolled really well so far. So I'll say just give me one like stealth check. We'll say as you're sort of breaking down through into the alleyways here, you're hearing the voices and like the footsteps and people yelling coming towards this way. I would say you could probably try and get lost for now, at least in the alleyways here, if you roll high enough.
Okay, Dex or Wisdom for stealth?
I guess it depends. I would say, are you trying to be nimble and quick, or are you trying to find like a really good spot to like a hay bale or like a trash can to get behind? Like, what are you? How do you see this?
Yeah, I think once I get onto the street, it's like trying to hide myself somewhere or blend in with a crowd or something. Whenever I like throw my bag around to the front and pull the rifle down so it's not sticking up.
Yeah.
Off my back, and I guess put a hat on or something.
Yeah.
Mess my hair up. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it sounds good to me. Yeah.
Right.
So I'd say use whichever one there. Yeah.
It doesn't mechanically matter, but
okay. So seven's okay. I would say you're able to keep distance, and you're able to lose a lot of them. But like as you go down one alley, you see one guard with a spear. Be like, huh? Hey, you! And he runs after you. It seems like you've lost the others, but there's this one guard now who's just running down the alleyways towards you. As you sort of keep booking it down like narrower and narrower alleyways.
Yeah, yell back. It's not. Yeah, obviously I start running. So I'm like, it's not worth it. Whatever they're paying you, it's not enough. Turn around.
As you point your rifle at his head. Yeah. So yeah, as you're booking and he's following you, I would say that you come to sort of a crossroads where in front of you you see a really busy sort of main street. You're seeing like carts with like the big weevils that tend to like carry a lot of the pack animals around here. You see those are going back and forth, lots of people talking, and like maybe some people are like some buskers playing music. But you also see some more alleyways next to you with like clothing and trash cans and smaller fences that you can hop over. So which way do you want to go?
Probably into the crowd.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easier than I don't just want to rely on having to like parkour my way out of the situation, more or less.
Yeah, sounds good. So it seems like this would probably be a pretty good place to get lost, because you could probably get into the crowd and maybe get to some more alleyways across the street or into a shop.
Or if there's like a market, there's like a square or something here
you're
that's
heading
like a market.
To like the market town, like the market area that you're trying to get to anyway. So I'll say you're probably
so there's like a plaza. That's all.
Yeah, so there's loads of carts, loads of just like tents and actual shops and that sort of thing. So is there anywhere you're going in particular with that sort of idea in mind? There's like a big fountain, there's loads of people talking, there's probably kids around. This is probably another whiz sneak roll to try and, like, if you're trying to and blend in with the crowd or trying to do it that way.
Yeah. Well, I just throw cash on the ground. No, it's not that area. I'm not actually doing everything out of Assassin's Creed.
You just remind me about one of my favorite things of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and I think 2 as well, where you could pick up a shovel or like a pitchfork, and you could do the backstab where you'd slit their throat, but it'd be like with the because it uses the same animation as like the knives you'd use for for that. So you just slit a wooden.
He just got a really bad splinter that went through both of their carotid arteries in their jugular.
It was so funny.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably just try to duck into the busiest part of the market and.
Yeah.
No, I'm realistically probably pushing people, though trying to as little as possible.
Yeah. No, sounds good. Yeah, so just give me another sneak roll. Okay. I will say, with where you are now, I'd say you've probably mostly lost this one guy. There's nobody else around here either. Like, there's some other guards that were not involved with whatever was happening here that are around. And you see him, like, not really able to see, but you see him sort of run up to, like, a group of guards and starts, like, asking them if they've seen anything while you kind of split away. You do see the watchmaker's shop just, like, down, maybe like down at the corner of a street down a ways. Are you going there straight away now while like he hasn't really seen you yet, or are you going to try and circle around a bit, go somewhere else for a while? What's your plan here?
I'll keep going, but I'll swing back around and enter the shop through the alley.
Sounds good. Yeah. So what I'd say for that, just because it's still a passing roll, but it's kind of low. I'd say that basically what it says is mostly that you've wasted kind of time that you could have, if you'd gone there faster, you could have gotten this dealt with. So yeah, you wasted some time, but it seems like you at least have lost the Scarlet Archive and the guards for now. So you go around for a bit, probably about maybe 30 minutes or so, finally getting back, and yeah, you make it to Umberto's shop.
I mean, I come in through the back door, so he's probably a little surprised.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Felicity, what a nice surprise seeing you here. The front door's that way, though.
You know what memes like when I come in through the back door.
Yeah. He kind of looks out towards the shop. There's not really anybody in the shop, and he kind of just goes like, "Just give me 1 second," and he sort of flips the sign to closed and locks it. He's like, "Are you in trouble?"
Think I'm out of trouble, but I'd like to not get back into it. So I have something I need you to take a look at.
Yeah, okay. Just come back into my workshop here, and he opens the door to the back. Sort of just a room full of different like mechanical bits and bobs everywhere. Lots of definitely a messy place. Loads of like bowls with like old food in them. You know, of just like long days spent in here. And he says, what do you need me to look at?"
Yeah, I like pull the satchel across and pull the brain out and set it on the workbench.
Yeah, and like as you do that, the brain's like, do you trust this guy? Does he?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like,
is he gonna sell you out?
I don't have any reason not to, but I don't have very many options, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So you say that, and you can speak.
And I'm like, wait a minute, why am I talking to you?
yeah. It's like, oh. Yeah. You sat down, and Umberto's eyes just go wide. He's like, oh my god, and he looks it over, grabs like one of those like giant sort of like apparatuses to put on his head, where like he has gigantic eyes as he looks over towards you. You know, yeah. Like spy
jeweler's loops on his eyes. Yeah.
And yeah, he's just turning it over in his head. It's like, oh, this is. Wow, where did you get this? This is intricately, perfectly made.
Not important. I just need to know what it is.
Well, I can tell from looking, and he sort of like points out parts of it to you, where he kind of just like explains like some like the makings and stuff. He says, well, this is definitely from the Quicksand Desert just across the Loom Mountains there. It's from the people
English, damn it.
Yeah, he literally says like
basic information.
Yeah, you slap him.
He's just like telling me a location.
Yeah. I don't know what you're saying, nerd. But yeah, no, he says that essentially, from what he knows about this, when it seems somewhat spotty, but this is from like the desert, from the just across the mountains there to the east, and he says that there are certain like lords and kings, or just basically high-ranking people there who are, for the most part, completely like a mixture of like biological and mechanical people that have sort of basically these deserts, like the people from this desert are much more advanced than where Pyrrhion is. And he sort of goes into how like a lot of these deserts have basically like these giant striding cities that essentially are always moving so they don't get sunken into the quicksand. And he's saying like it's probably from one of those major cities that are over there. He says my history and geography is a little bit spotty on it, but it's definitely from there. I can tell just by the way it's made and the materials here.
All right.
And you hear the brain be like, I told you that. I said that when we left the vault.
Yeah, what's it do? What? I try not to say that it's a fucking talking to me.
Yeah.
But like, does it have a body?
Yeah, he says essentially that these are like transhumanist like people, like, and this is like really only like the richest and like highest order people, because a lot of them tend to have prosthetics or changes to their body, self-beating hearts and that kind of thing that can keep them alive. But like some of like the really really high-ranking ones have like completely transformed their bodies into just metal. He says it's very strange that you have just the brain, because they tend to be a bit more like humanoid, or some of them change to make them more look like the body of like a metal horse or that sort of thing. But they definitely tend to have bodies, and this is
what would somebody want with this? It just sounds like it's a person.
Yeah, he says well, I think depending on what could be here. There could be some, if you haven't, perhaps some of the magicians and like some of the technologists across Pyrrhion could definitely maybe tap into it for any of the knowledge you might have, any information that could be in there. They are known to have incredibly powerful, I think, like lightning abilities, or a lot of, some say it's technology, others say it's magic, but they tend to have a lot of very powerful things that perhaps could be taken from these brains or taken from these people. He does say like they're extremely difficult to destroy, though. I'm not sure who could actually break into it, because he takes a hammer to like show you, and he's just like, he gives it like a quick 2 taps, and like the brain's like, god, I didn't appreciate that. But there's like not a blemish, there's not a dent or anything on it.
Right.
He says, but yeah, I think some very high level people might want it for, who knows, maybe they're weird collections, or for the knowledge that might be inside it.
Yeah, and there's nobody in this city that I would trust with it.
Probably not. I mean, yeah, I would say the only place that you would probably know for sure, and even then, because they're not perfect, is Fort Aurora, where the Venators are. But like, even that is not like, it's still an organization. There's still corruption. There's still bad actors. They're people, it's yeah. So I would say that there's probably not anybody other than if you have any really close friends. But I don't know if any of those are in the city or not. But even then, it's like, you're also putting anybody's life in danger. Anybody who can't defend themselves, you're putting their life in danger, as you would know, by giving them this sort of thing.
All right. Yeah, I put it back in my bag. And I turned to Umberto and I'm like, thanks, this didn't happen.
Yeah, as per usual. And he puts his hand out for like the usual fee that you tend to pay him for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I fucking pay him.
Yeah, you just grab up the silver and just throw it on. And
yeah.
And the brain says like, yeah, listen, like, if you can get me that power source, if it can help me power to get to find where my body is, I can get back to my homelands. That's all I want to do. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I sit there I leave, obviously, and duck in somewhere else into like a tea house or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of mull over things for a bit. I'm like, well, can't just give it up. Can't just hold on to it. And I'm like, all right, where's the power source? I'm gonna get you the hell out of here.
Yeah, he
deal with
says
this anymore.
He says, I think it's at the Verdant Museum in Klenia is where I heard it. It's on display there, apparently. It was found recently by one of the other factions, I think.
Well, I really need to not be in Sojourn anyway, at least for the next little bit, so let's get going. What time is it now?
I would say at this point, you may have I would say it's probably like 1 p.m. probably. Like, you probably left early in the morning and then got back, and like, yeah, so I think after this chase and everything else, yeah. So early afternoon.
Okay. All right. Yes. I don't know how you get from city to city. But...
So what I would say, because like you've already mentioned that you know quite a few things. So I would say for you, there's 3 ways that you would know. One of them being a way that most people probably wouldn't know about, and you're not totally sure if it's actually real or not. The first way, probably the most obvious way, is the bridge. There's just a like gargantuan old bridge that's like another precursor kind of thing that's there.
Right. Yeah, it's like a big like viaduct looking bridge.
Yeah, it's absolutely like it towers over the 2 cities. So you can get over it that way. There is a checkpoint. There's a Sojourn checkpoint on this side. There's a Klenia checkpoint on that side, and also there's like a big tavern in the middle of it. And that tavern and their like bouncers and force, the little militia they have there, is like the only actual law on the bridge. The bridge is kind of like an unlawful place because it's in like it's sort of like a DMZ between 2 city-states that hate each other.
Right.
So it's a bit dangerous for a few things other than using the guard and whatever could happen there if anybody tries to cause trouble.
Right.
Another way is going across the river. Boats are not allowed to go from Klenia to Sojourn and back and forth. Like it's not a thing they're allowed to do. You can leave and come back and that sort of thing, but it takes a while, obviously. So you could try and swim or take a small boat or whatever across. But if you get caught that way, there's a chance they might shoot you on sight or, try and grab you and question as to why a Vander is going across like this. And the third way, and somewhat dangerous, and again could get you lost, is that there are rumors that there is like a path underneath through the river that you can get through, because I'll try and be quick on any lore stuff, but there's basically a race called blue dwarves here that are sort of like a mixture of like deep ones and dwarves that are sort of living in these underground parts of the water, underground caverns, that sort of thing. And there is supposedly like a colony that's been kind of pushed out by the infrastructure of the city sort of building. So there is a path through there, but there's apparently talks of monsters and that sort of thing. Stuff that you've dealt with before, but there's lots of miscreants that go down there through the sewers and that sort of thing. So it's also dangerous for its own reasons, that there could be some bad things to come across there as well as getting lost. But you would probably know a way through the sewers potentially that most people wouldn't know, but that's probably about as much as you would know on the subject.
Not really any good options.
Yeah, I mean, the other option too is that if you want to take a lot more time, you could just leave the city a different way and like coming all the way around to get into Klenia, which is also, to be clear, an option for sure. But like that's definitely like a few day kind of way into the city. The other three seems to be at least like that's like you can get in there today, get out of Sodran, and you're still in civilization. So it's up to you what you want to do.
Right, and I don't want to get caught out in the middle of nowhere, like if I'm being followed or something either.
Yeah.
Not alone.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you all the possible
Yeah,
dangers so you
yeah.
can actually make an informed choice. I don't just go, gotcha. And you're welcome to ask more questions or anything like that if you need any.
Yeah. Yeah, what's the realistic chance of being able to sneak through the checkpoint on my way out?
I would say not impossible, depending on, I don't know if you're able, if you're able to maybe change your appearance at all. Also, some of the guards might be onto you, but like it is a pretty big city, so there's a chance that you can make the checkpoint without them knowing that you're there. But that's, who knows, if like the Scarlet Archive are around and trying to find you and trying to stop all the
Right.
ways you'd get out. So I'd say there's
And they could have
definitely a
theoretically
chance.
also paid the guards in
Yeah.
Klenia
Oh
as
yeah,
well,
and
right?
you would know that corruption with guards is pretty common.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, I guess this is genuinely just like paralleling what Felicity's internal monologue would be,
Mm-hmm.
which is like there's not a good option.
Yeah.
Like it's all dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get caught underneath alone. The last thing I want to do is get fucking executed for doing something like brashly illegal.
Yeah.
Break the law, at least do it in secret.
Yeah, and you do have money on you if you need to bribe guards or anything like that. So you do have like options at your disposal. Like, and in a city, like from what you would know of this place, nobody's gonna like try to murder you on site. Like it's just not gonna.
Right.
It's just not that people are gonna do.
No, I mean this is presumably that like historically almost never happens.
Well, that's the thing because I know D&D or something
Yeah.
like that. Sometimes people can be like, "Oh shit!" Like I don't know what you wouldn't think of this, but like sometimes people like play like everybody's like, "I'm gonna murder you right now." It's like, I mean, if you're in a city,
Most
like it's
people
not...
don't want to do a
no.
murder. It turns out like people generally don't want to have that on their conscience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, my inclination would be to, if I was going to bribe somebody, it would, 'cause presumably, like, do merchants travel across the bridge?
Yeah, they're allowed to have small,
Okay.
basically like it's like one cart per person essentially kind of thing, or like one cart per like traveling company. So you're allowed to do that sort of thing. It's just not the major, because most like the industry goes through the river. It's kind of like the main kind of part. So that's more just like a way to fuck and that's fuck. It's more of a way to fuck. It's more of a way to fuck with each other.
Yeah. I think my inclination would be to like try to tag along with a trader or
Mhm.
something, and obviously disguise myself. Because if I'm going to cause an incident anywhere, it might as well be somewhere where it could feasibly end up escalating beyond me.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't just be me. Where like on a boat, it feels like if I get caught, it's just me. If I'm going through the tunnels, if I get caught, I mean, I could hire people to come with me or something, but I don't want to involve anyone else.
No, for sure.
Because it's already dangerous enough. So yeah, I think like trying to blend in with the merchant caravan. Obviously, I could pay them somebody just unscrupulous enough, the correct amount of scruples. And I probably wouldn't like hide. I think I would just want to like blend in.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what you think. I feel like maybe like in terms of like use, or maybe if you're trying to disguise yourself, it could be part of like a character. So if you want to do a performance check, that might work as part of like that sort of thing. Where if you're kind of like make yourself look a little bit different, and you're kind of like holding yourself a little bit differently, or I don't know if you're just totally going for like a totally different disguise or not. It's up to you, really.
Yeah, I mean, they probably have like a picture of me, like a drawing of me or something, or a description. So yeah, I mean, I just try to probably more of like a disguise.
Yeah.
Not
Okay,
like a necessarily like a wig, but like a hat. Like put on one of those fucking peasant hats that's got the ears on it and stuff. And yeah, obviously like hide all my shit. So
yeah, just go through the market, maybe just like grabbing like a blanket or a hat as you're going through, just like dropping a coin down, just getting yourself sort of together and changing up what you're doing. Yeah, if you want, just give me I'd say wisdom performance, because that's sort of wisdom, sort of part of like the you kind of look like in like the fountain of water. You kind of like get yourself going, where you kind of change how you look a little bit.
Yeah.
11. Okay,
Hey.
nice. Yeah, so you don't look like a totally different person, but nobody's gonna spot you at a first glance. Like, it's gonna be pretty hard to see you as you sort of cover your face and change up your clothes a little bit. Yeah, I would say you make it further like through the market here, and I would say that you see what looks like we'll say two women are sort of moving. Looks like they're hauling like ore and a few things that like are just on like a pretty like rickety kind of cart. Looks like they might be heading towards the bridge. So I don't know if you want to talk to them or if you're gonna wait for somebody else or what your plan is.
That's fine. And I'm like, mind if I tag along? I have a few things I need to move across the bridge.
Yeah, I would say the younger woman's about to protest, but the older woman with her kind of like just grabs her by the shoulder and she gives you like a wink and she says, no problem, honey. We can absolutely take you on with us. What's your name?
Lenora.
Oh, well, thank you, Lenora. Or welcome, Lenora. You can, if you want to just sit on the back of the cart there, you're welcome to. We're just gonna start moving, and they have like a big red weevil that's sort of like the size of like a big horse that she starts pushing the reins on.
I'll walk with you. It's fine. I don't want to be too much of a burden.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, we're just we're heading off there now, and yeah. So the younger woman kind of looks a little bit concerned, but the older woman's just kind of going along. So Lenora, tell me about yourself. What brings you here? Where are you going over to Clinia for?
Well, I was brought to Sodrin when I was married off, and he passed away recently.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
In the gutter.
Oh, well, I'm sure somebody will miss him.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. One of the reasons I need to move across to Clinia is because I don't want his debts to catch up with me.
Oh, absolutely,
so
honey.
I'm just trying to be discreet with leaving. Some among the guard may have been, paid off or are working second shifts as debt collectors and enforcers. So, just need to be discreet.
Absolutely, no. We completely get that. Yeah, they just welcome you on and you guys are going through the streets that you're talking about this. And you guys get to the checkpoint with with all the guards, and the older woman does say like she seems to notice your gun there. She says, the bridge here is a little bit rough at times. Will you be able to keep us safe? We know a few people on there, so we should be okay. But if anything breaks out, are you able to help us? Serve as a...
I was taught how to shoot. I'll do what I can.
Okay.
My sword is hidden too. It's like in my pack.
Yep, sounds good. Yeah, so you have that hidden. You guys make it to the checkpoint. There's a bunch of guards there. You're seeing basically like two towers with like there's cannons on the top. There's probably like you see maybe like 5 guards like on sort of like the in the entranceway here, and there's people sort of being stopped. They're being questioned and they're like being moved along. Finally, after a while, you guys get to the front there, and 2 guards sort of come around. One of them sort of looks at you. The other one kind of lifts up the blanket to look at the ore underneath, kind of sort of checks the merchandise, checks under the cart, and the other guard goes, names, and he pulls out like a sheet and says, names, how much is everything worth? And they sort of go on and they go like, oh, this is Mary. This is, we'll say, Henrietta, and this over here is Lenora. And the other guy looks over towards you and professions, and so you sort of go through and he looks at you.
Housekeeper
With a gun, huh?
It's one of the only things that I have left.
Fair enough.
I'm hoping to sell it over in Clinia, frankly.
Okay. Yeah, and he sort of just goes through and they kind of look, and one of them kind of like looks, he says, huh, like you. Miss Lenore, have I seen you before? You look familiar.
I don't think so. I don't really make a habit of getting the guard involved in anything.
Yeah, and he stops there for a little bit and kind of just like stares at you, sort of looks you up and down, kind of just rubs his chin, and he just says, well, must be my mistake. Carry on, they can go. And the guards get out of the way, and you guys start moving across the bridge here. And yeah, you guys start making your way across, and you see like the younger woman kind of just lets out like a breath of air, like, ooh, that scared me for a second. It's very rowdy on this bridge. You do see this massive inn. It does look like the tavern. It's probably like maybe honestly looks like, it's hard to tell if it's 3 or 4 stories. Like the way it's all sort of mixed around on each other, like it looks very strange. It looks like a bunch of different eras have made up whatever this building is. Some more modern stuff, some very old stuff.
Howl's Stationary Tavern.
Yeah. Yell's Stationary Tower.
Yelp's Stationary Tavern. They review us. Leave us a good review.
Yeah.
Yelp's Stationary Tavern. Yeah.
Yeah, you just see like a guy being thrown off the side of it, just like, get out of here, you drug. You're like,
Wilhelm scream.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a pretty rough place. You do see that there are some like black clad like bouncers and that kind of thing that seem to be watching over for the bar, but they don't seem to be concerned with like the fights going on the bridge or other things that are happening. A lot of illicit activity. And you get past the tavern, you're probably about like 2/3 through the bridge when like 2 big burly guys, something like, go, hey ladies, listen, I know you aren't paid the toll, but there's another one right here. So why don't you hand us over? Just we'll say 100 silver. And we'll let you go on your way. And the other one says, we don't have that kind of money. Please just let us through. All we have is ore. We have nothing. We're trying to make some money here, and we don't have anything right now.
Yeah, come on. You wouldn't bankrupt us. I mean, I know that it would weigh on you, certainly, wouldn't it?
One of the guys looks over towards you and sort of. They're still a pretty expensive, and they are a commodity. He does see, he doesn't notice your sword or anything like that, but he does see your rifle. He's like, oh, it's a pretty nice rifle you got there, young lady. Well, you know what? If you don't have any money, we'll take that off of you. Just hand it over, and you can move along.
Oh no, I need this to sell in Clinia. And
he walks over towards you. This guy's sort of like one of those guys that kind of looks a bit like a strong man, where he's got like a big gut. He's got like a sort of kind of thinning black hair, and he gets up. He's like, I wasn't asking. Hand it over, and he puts his hand out towards you. Looks like he's about to like grab your shoulder.
I drop to my knees and clutch my stomach, and I wail, and I'm like, oh, this dress, it's the baby.
He kind of looks confused for a second. Do you want to give me a performance check? He's like, what?
Just charisma for this one, I assume.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
8. Okay, good. He's like, what the hell? And the 2 women that are with you are like, yeah, you would steal from a pregnant woman, and like, shame on you, and they start getting like louder. You see they're starting like to cause a bit of a commotion from other people who are looking over, like, what's going on? Somebody robbing a pregnant lady over there? And they're just kind of like, okay, just get out. Okay, just move. Just get out of here. And they sort of they kind of back off. What do you do? Do you just get back up, like, or do you sort of like, oh, what's the?
I play it up. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You play it up, just like going along with the car, and then you guys keep moving, and you make it to the other side of the bridge. That was really funny. And very, very similar to the other side, there's a checkpoint here with guards, same sort of question, same song and dance, but they don't seem to be too concerned with you guys. They just sort of look over everything and like, all right, you're good to go. Come on in here. And you make it into Clinia. And I would say by this point, after everything's been going on, say it's probably like 3 p.m. or so. It's been a few hours. And you make it into Clinia. This part of town looks quite a bit nicer than where you were in Sodgen. It looks like a lot of like there's a bit more money that's flowing through here, at least at this part, or at least they're trying to put up airs that there's more money, you know, kind of like the South Korea, North Korea thing where you put like your tallest soldiers like on the line, sort of like that.
Right.
And the 2 women are like, well, is there anything else you need from us? Thank you for protecting us back there. Or with your
thank you. Have a good rest of your day. And I whip the disguise off as I'm doing that. I untuck. I have the brain wrapped up in some cloth, and I shoved it into my like over my stomach.
Yeah.
And I pull it out and shove it back in my bag and throw it over. Like untuck the sword and clip it back onto my belt, and then
Oh my god, that's amazing. Yeah, they both like just both jaws drop, and you just move on and move into the city. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm walking away, like pull my hair back and tie it back and shrug the shoulders off.
That's amazing. Yeah, so you make it into the city now. You're in Clinia. The brain sort of starts to direct you. I don't know if you're going anywhere first, but he says like, oh, I know where the museum is if you want me to show you the way. I don't know if you want to go to a tavern first and think that, if there's anything you want to do first, but
No, I think I'm here for one reason, frankly.
yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so he sort of mentions like, okay, guys, I guess we can scope it out during the day, see what's going on there, and he sort of leads you through some different streets, leads you into kind of like a semi like industrial commercial district, and it looks like overall this is like a pretty like there's a lot of like smog and smoke and lots of like things working, a lot of like manufactories and that kind of thing. And it seems like the name of the Verdant Museum here is due to the fact that it has like a really gorgeous garden that goes around it. It has like just like a bunch of bushes that are really well trimmed and kept up. It looks like there's a lot of like nice grass.
Right.
And the rest of the area around here is all really gray and not that nice. All these flowers and greenery is very, very pretty. So we'll just move over to that map.
I'm just imagining some real like what was that thing called? The Crystal Palace in London, the like World Fair exhibit thing that burned. I think it burned down.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's where it was built, I think, for the World's Fair. It was like a big, essentially like it almost looks like it's a greenhouse, but it's just all cast iron beams and glass across the entire thing. And it was in Hyde Park in London, and I think it got moved, I think, and then it burnt down. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it burned down in the 30s. It looks like.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I feel like something.
It's probably not quite that big, but
yeah, it's not quite that big. But I would say it's the same sort of vibe where it's going for that same sort of thing, where like a very manicured kind of outside there. I realize that your character probably should put a token symbol around your character because you kind of blend in with the rocks there. But
oh my god, yeah, I do.
I did not. I was like, I thought I put you down earlier, and I didn't see. I was like, oh wait, there.
Camouflage.
Yeah, perfectly camouflaged. Yeah, so you are in front of this absolutely gorgeous museum. It looks like a lot of like the stone on the outside is probably different bits of like brick and marble, and it's extremely pretty. Probably made in the last 10 or 15 years. It looks like a fairly new building. There's two big double doors that are pretty huge. It looks like there's 3 guards on the outside, like one on each one of those posts there. They don't look like they're like on high alert or anything. It seems like they're pretty, just doing their job. You do see that there's a lot of people through here. There's like lots of carriages on the side of the road, a lot of drivers there. You're seeing what looks like maybe like some sort of like school field trip going into here. And yeah, so you're on the outside, and what would you like to do?
I mean, I don't have any reason to believe that I couldn't just walk in.
No.
I mean, this thing might be on display, and so it's not like I can stick the fucking brain in it in the middle of the day, but I at least want to go in and make sure that, assess the situation more or less.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, nobody stops you or anything like that. You can hit like the door symbol there if you want to look inside. Yeah, and also what's nice is that you did also like clean yourself up earlier, so you're not all dusty and so you might have been like, whoa, you can't come in here like looking like that, but you actually look like you're pretty well together. Yeah. So yeah, you come in here. It looks like there's a receptionist here. You see that there's some other rooms to the side. There's like loads of different artifacts and crazy looking things. You're welcome to move around, but yeah, you're just in the front area here. And yeah, the receptionist, she looks like she's sort of put together really nicely. She looks like there's sort of like a uniform that you've seen from different like museum employees. And you're also seeing a few more guards here and there. It's really busy in here. There's like, I don't know if you can see that ship from where you are, but there's that ship where like there's like a lot of kids like pointing and like talking about it and babbling. It's honestly a little bit louder in here than you were expecting with the amount of people that are sort of walking through. What do you want to do? The receptionist looks up at you. She says, "Oh, hello. The entrance fee is 5 silver.
I pay it.
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm a traveling scholar from Voltameri. I heard that there were some particularly interesting precursor artifacts in this museum.
Oh,
I was wondering if you could point me towards them.
Yes, just go up to the second floor. She says basically, she points up like basically straight up the ceiling. Basically, if you just get to around here, but on the second floor, you should be able to find it. It stands out amongst even all of our great artifacts here.
I give her a little bit of a bow. Thank you. And I weave my way through the crowds.
Yeah, do you want to give me, while you're about there, Jack, do you want to give me a luck save? Fail. Okay. Yep, no worries. Yeah, so you keep moving, and you head through here, and like all these things you see here are there. Like you see this like giant whale on display. You see like a few different rooms there, all different kinds of things. You see like all those like sarcophagi in another room. This ship is absolutely gorgeous. There's all kinds of crazy things, but you're kind of just moving your way there. And do you want to give me a notice check? So that's 13 is insane. So you are somebody, most people would not notice this, and it's obviously by design to not notice this, but it stands out to you right away. But you're noticing every once in a while that it looks like there's suits of armor that are sort of positioned in certain places where they don't really stand out from where like the rest of other artifacts are. but you can tell looking at them that those are clearly like some kind of animated armor. Like the way they're saying, you see like a sigil like on their chest plates. They're very well hidden in plain sight. They don't stand out at all. But it is very clear you're like, okay, these are absolutely something to keep.
Yeah, they're the actual museum guards are these guys. Yeah.
So yeah, so you make your way up the stairs there, and I'll just get you to the next floor. You make your way through a bunch of different people. In here, you sort of come up to the second floor, and this seems to be like a big like archive library area. You're seeing a few different people kind of going through it. You're seeing like a museum employee, like
less people than the first floor.
Quite a few less people. Yeah. And this was a lot more quiet up here. It's actually kind of like nice and peaceful. You see like a museum employee like grabbing a book out of like a kid's hand who's like sort of like being way too rough with it. And you can keep making your way down. It looks like there's some sort of seminar going across the hall over here, like where all these chairs are. I don't know if you can see it. There might be a wall there. No, there isn't.
I can see it, yeah.
Yeah, so you can actually see down below to the first floor here. There's this big open area, and you can see like the seminar happening on the other side. And just so it's clear, obviously these are not to scale because that sword is like it's 18 times your size. I just want to make sure things are easy to see if you want to check it out.
Yeah.
But you see at the end of the hallway here by itself in a big glass case, you see this big crystallized heart that looks like it has like a bunch of tubes coming out of it. It seems to have like sort of almost like a gold and more copper sort of machinery attached to it that you see just over here. And
I don't get that close. I pretend to look at this and glance over it. Also, is there supposed to be a wall like right here?
There is,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's
just making sure.
Yeah. That's another room right there.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, it's a little on the nose, isn't it, to make the power supply a literal heart?
The brain says, well, I mean, when I was a human, it was my actual heart. It was part of the process.
I don't understand artists.
He says, but that's definitely it. That's definitely the power source.
All right, how's this work? Do I have to plug you into it or something?
There might be some ways to jury rig, I guess. Maybe if we can get myself some sort of, I don't know, temporary body at some point. I think right now, if we can just figure out, if we can just get it, if we can just grab it and get it out of here, that'll be probably the best bet. There's a lot of people
assume
around.
That through whatever senses you have, you've noticed our friends near most of the exhibits.
Yeah, I've noticed them.
Can't exactly stroll into this museum and steal one of the exhibits.
No, I don't. I don't think so either. Is there anything that you're like looking at all other than this power source? Is there anything that you're looking out for at all?
I mean, I'm trying to see if there's an obvious way to cause a distraction, but I'm also just trying to kind of case the area and see like if I have to come back later.
Sounds good. Yeah. So if you're sort of going through and sort of trying to case the joint, yeah. So I'm assuming if you're going through here and checking out this place, going back and forth, doing all that sort of stuff, it looks like the museum doesn't close for another like 4 hours or so, like when the sun goes down. But it looks like if you're going through, we'll say if you're going back and forth between the first and second area, you see that like it looks like the windows on the second floor seem to be barred, but the first floor windows aren't. It looks like they've been like they're locked. And I'd say this is part of the notice check from earlier. You do notice that like it seems like there's like sigils that are very similar to the ones that are on the chest plates of the armors. It looks like the windows on the first floor are new and have not been barred yet, but second floor ones have been barred. And you're seeing lots of different people going around. Are you going into like any of the different rooms in this area, like in the different exhibit rooms essentially in this museum, or are you just looking straight for like exit points? Or, like,
I think it would make sense because like the other option is to find somewhere that I can hide myself when it closes, so I don't have to come back in.
Sounds good. Yeah. So, if that's the case, if you are looking that thoroughly, we're gonna go back to the first floor here for a second, because when you are over here, I'll grab you real quick. When you're over to here, run across
the ghost.
Yeah. The brain stops you and goes, "Hey, wait, that carriage over there. Can we go inspect that?" He as you sort of go to it, he's like, "Yeah, no doubt. Despite that wood paneling, that tacky wood paneling they put on there, that's definitely a carriage from my lands. I don't know why there's a horse bridle attached to it. I guess I didn't know how to work it. Listen, I don't think it will be pretty or efficient, but we might be able to jury rig and connect myself to that if we need to in a hurry. I don't know how easy it'll be to get you to do it or how well it'll work, but we might be able to either use that to get out of here if we need to, but that might cause a bit too much of a ruckus. But he looks at that, but there's also right behind it, you do see that there is like a window that's like not barred, like I mentioned. Essentially every room here on the first floor has like at least 2 to 3 windows, so there seems to be quite a few exit points throughout the exhibit. And if you're watching like guard patrols at all, because I'm just giving you as much information as I think you'd be looking for.
Yeah.
It seems like the guards don't really move all that much. It seems like you have like those animated armors that are just standing around, and most of the guards seem to be like outside for the most part. And also there's a lot of different artifacts. If anything that you see here, that is what's there. So if you have any creative ideas of things you want to like smash or throw or do whatever, those are there. So you're welcome to do that. Because you said you're looking for a place to hide, correct?
Yeah, I think that'd be the easiest thing to do. I mean,
Instead
most
of
of the guards are
outside,
so yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like I said, if you have any questions or anything you see here, feel free once you get an idea. And you can I can go back to the second floor if you want me to. If you want to look at that again.
Yeah. What's this big pot?
Yeah, I mean that's what it looks like. It's just like a giant vase. Looks like it's maybe somewhere from we'll say somewhere foreign, maybe like across the seas. It looks to be like a pretty huge vase here. Could probably fit like 2 or 3 people in it, honestly.
How busy is this room right now?
I'm gonna say that it's not super busy. I'd say that you get like a moment where like field trip's walking out and like 3 people are about to walk in, and you have like that moment of like being, if you want to jump in here when there's nobody around. I feel like that's like you have like a moment to do that.
Yeah, I quickly put my foot up on presumably the like railing that's around it, and hop in and try to land as quietly as possible.
I'd say give me a stealth check there. I'd say for sure. Give me I'd say Dex or Wisdom both work, as you're kind of keeping an eye out and you're also trying to be quick. So either or, I think works for me. Okay, 7. Yeah, I mean 7's good. It's not that hard as you're watching, and I would say that you just sort of quickly jump in there. You maybe make a bit of a noise as you like hit the bottom because it goes like a dong, but like thankfully it might be just loud enough. You're like, okay, I don't think anybody saw me do that. And nobody comes
sit down and wait.
Yeah, and as you're in there, you hear guys are like, is this the vase we're sealing up to bring over? Just let's like fill it with cement. Yeah. So the
acid vase.
Yeah.
It's impervious to all acids. Watch as we pour 3 gallons of acid into it.
Yeah. So you get into the vase and sort of just sit there for a while. It's pretty boring, as you're just kind of like, you probably maybe nod off for a little bit at some points. Like you're kind of trying to keep yourself awake, keep yourself alert. But eventually you hear the voices start to die down. You hear like a bell from somebody saying like, lock it up. You have 15 minutes. Yeah. And like, and then after a while, I'd say maybe this is probably like, we'll say 5 hours later, when it seems like it's properly quiet. You look out like maybe the window and like it's totally dark out. It does seem like outside you do see like what looks like a guard patrolling around outside. There might be somebody else inside here, but from where you are in the vase, it's not really easy to see.
Yeah, did I see anything? I mean, you said that like the sigils obviously on the guards, and they were on other things as well. Mm-hmm. So I presume if I break the glass with the sigil on it, it would alert them. Is there anything other obvious that I noticed that would trigger the living armor?
No, I would say there's nothing really else obvious. It seems like the sigils like are there on the windows and on the glass of like the artifacts, but it seems like there's no like, you don't see like any motion detecting things or anything like that. It seems like it's mostly just pretty basic magic that's sort of like attached to things, where it's like, oh, like if this happens, like this will go off and alert it, but it doesn't seem like they have like an advanced thing. If you do jump out of the vase and look out there, you do see what looks like one guard with like a lamp kind of just walking back and forth, kind of bored in this main hallway here. There are pillars and there is the big ship and other things, so there's stuff to hide. It's not like super open, but it's still somewhat open enough that he might notice you. Depending on what you're doing.
And are the lights off?
Or most of them the lights are off, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably make my way around then and try to hop between stuff.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I'm not gonna make you roll for that. You're pretty good stealth. You go around, like you said, there through that one room, and then you kind of hop between pillars and that sort of thing. The guard does not seem like he's on high alert or anything, so there's no real reason for him to to think that somebody's here.
It's a museum. It's where all this stuff belongs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Ben Stiller in his breakout role. And yeah, you sort of just jump and make your way to the second floor. So we'll just go back there now, and you make your way through the little library area there sort of quietly. It does not seem like there's a guard up here. You like I mentioned, you do notice the animated armors, obviously they're next to the main artifact, but it seems like at least for now you're alone if you want to sort of see what you want to do here, if you want to case out the second floor at all.
Yeah, I think I would do that.
Yeah, you're welcome
quietly,
to,
just to see
around.
if there's any other means of exit here. I'd listen at this door to see if there's anyone in this room.
Yeah, well, actually, I think it didn't. I don't know if I did a good job here, but there's actually like right here. There's just basically one giant long window. It seems like there's like this is like where like it's a bit of like a.
Oh, I
like,
see now. Okay.
Yeah, so you actually were able to see all in there, and it doesn't seem like there's anybody that's in there. It seems like it's just a big like archaeology study or something like a lecturing kind of lab, I guess.
This door though.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I'm not gonna make you roll for it. It doesn't seem like there's anything in there. You don't hear anything. If you want to, you're welcome to open it. There's no sigils on it, and it seems like it's just like a study or like a library room, maybe a place where like they have meetings and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And like I mentioned, all these rooms do have windows, but on the second floor they are barred.
They're barred, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can see one sigil on the glass for this.
Yeah.
Do I have a good idea of how this would work? Could I guess how it would work? Like if the glass is forcibly broken, it will trigger presumably.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I like cut the glass off around it? Like, would that also trigger it?
I would say that might be risky, but you have a decent amount of experience, I think, with artifacts and this kind of thing. I would say that you might be able to cut around in a way that doesn't set it off. You might also be able to, in some way, maybe destroy the sigil so that like it renders it useless. I would say there's probably a few options like that you would, as somebody who's a bit of a professional, I think like you might have a way to do this. It would be a roll, but you would probably be able to do it.
Yeah, because I imagine it's probably like if it's magic, it like then it's the sigil is like the loci of like the locus of like the spell, and it probably like spreads randomly around the glass, so that it's not everywhere would trigger it, but like if the glass broke, obviously it would hit something. And how big is the heart? Like normal size?
I would say it's probably like I would say with everything on it, it's probably like the same size as the brain. Like it's probably like two and a half fists like together.
Gotcha.
It's a little bit
yeah. So I think this is my plan. I'm gonna try to carefully cut a hole in the glass that's large enough that won't trigger the spell. Like I'm gonna try to feel out, I don't know how it would work, but like feel out where the spell is in the glass and try to cut an area that it's not.
Yeah.
My backup is as soon as something goes wrong is to grab it. I go over to this, and because I assume that this is like the first floor is fairly high ceilings, I presume, like a museum, right?
Yeah. And it doesn't show it here, annoyingly, but there is also a ship, basically, that's supposed to be right here. So you could probably jump to, like, there's probably, like, a mast that goes up through, like, this area. They could probably jump
Right. I would I'll tie rope around the railing, and, like, obviously I won't throw it down, because there's a guard down there. But I'll have it, like, ready to jump down, more or less.
Good. Okay.
Because if I fuck up, I'm pretty close to the front door. I can immediately book it.
Yeah.
So I don't think I can get out on this floor.
Before you do that, Jack, Felicity, your danger sense like triggers your foci there kind of seems to go off. I'm not gonna say it gets used up here, but like it seems like you sort of feel something right behind you, and the brain explains like, what? How did that get there? I didn't detect it at all. And you sort of quickly turn, and you see this large, like 7 foot tall, gaunt, ashen figure with a scraggly black hair and large, watery blue eyes. Its hands have digits that look a lot more like daggers than fingers, and you see around it is this silver collar with a green gem embedded in the middle of it. And the creature opens its mouth, and it has like rows of like little spiny or little like needly like teeth, and says, "Venator, please do not make me hurt you. Just hand over the brain, and I will let you go. The Scarlet Archive is already on their way here. Give it to me, and you'll have time to leave here unscathed. And you see, like,
I don't have any
holding
idea
itself
what this
back
is.
somewhat. What'd you say?
Right. I don't have any idea what this is.
No, I would
right?
say, give me a no roll. You're a vendor. You deal with monsters and other things, so you might have a chance.
All right.
You got an 11. Yeah, this thing, you know this to be, it goes by several different names. I would say just the most blunt one that comes to mind because of it is these are kind of called like shadow hunters or like, you know, dark prowlers or things like that. Like, there's a few different names that people have given them. They are these creatures that, as long as they're given sort of like either like some hair or like a picture of a visage of somebody or things like that, they can pretty much track somebody anywhere. But yeah, they tend to be like, they're not human, but like they tend to be like creatures that kind of don't really seem to, like, I don't know. They might do jobs here and there like this, but this is not really what they are. They usually are just hunting their prey. Or they hunt things that have wronged them. This, as you're sort of like seeing what this creature is, like, it's kind of like holding itself back somewhat, and it's saying like, I don't want to kill another Venator. Please don't make me. Please just hand me the brain.
I'm like, you know, looking. I assume that it's talking quietly enough that the guard hasn't heard us.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a whisper, raspy kind of whisper just underneath. Like,
yeah. So the sigil on this glass. Presumably, if the glass is broken, okay, there's one of two ways I would assume it works. Either the living armor knows who's supposed to be here, and they'll attack people who aren't on that list of okay people, or whoever breaks the glass is the one that they target. Do I know if it's one of those? Is there a more common way that works?
I would say you wouldn't necessarily know. You might. I would say probably what you might think is that either it would go for the person who broke glass, or it might go for anybody who's holding an artifact. Like, if anybody has like an artifact in their possession, might be where they go for.
Okay.
It could also be that, like, because obviously if somebody touches the glass, they don't want animated armors just ripping kids' heads off because there's just like,
right,
you know.
Right.
It seems like they might need some time to process who they see as the intruder. So it's hard to really say, honestly. Yeah.
I'm gonna stand directly between it and the heart. Almost with my back up against the glass.
Okay.
So, like, you know, the heart is right behind me, or just about behind me, and I'm like ready to move, obviously, but I'm like, well, isn't that a shame? I just can't give it to you. I mean, I don't even have it. I guess you're gonna have to stab me in that case. And I'm ready. Well, essentially, what I'm doing is I'm just waiting, and I want to jump out of the way so it breaks the glass behind me.
Through the glass, yeah.
Yeah.
And it lets. I was like, I didn't want to do this. And it throws out this big clawed hand towards you. I'd say give me a dexterity exert check. I'd say as it's going to try and attack you. We'll see if it actually hits. I'm assuming. Actually, I don't know. Does 14 hit?
No, it's not actually.
Okay, so both that misses and you rolled a 10 on your dex exert check. So this plays off pretty well. You, this massive hand jumps over your head, almost slicing like right into your face, and smashes through the glass. And immediately, like, all hell breaks loose. Like, the lights come on, and the two figures on both sides start to move, and this is where we'll just go, I guess, into combat. Okay. And as I've been doing so far with combat for everybody, because you're by yourselves, is that you will go first in combat always, just to make it a little bit, just, you know, so you don't get murdered and ripped apart immediately. But yeah, these they look like they're slowly moving, like they're not super fast, but they're starting to like get themselves like together. So
yeah, can I since I got that 10. Can I dictate that? So I goaded it into hitting, and then my goal was not to like just move to the side. Like I ducked and rolled under to deliberately put it between me and the living armors.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Like
so
they see it, not me immediately.
Yeah.
So it's like here pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it is the one that smashed the glass. So these two are going to go for them. So yeah, so did you so you rolled up back that way, and now they're moving towards it. So yeah, so you're right behind it. I would say you still have your move though, because that's just like a move action. Did you want to attack? Did you want to do anything else? Is there anything that you're doing in particular?
I mean, obviously I want to grab the heart, but I'm not going to do that right now. I want to make sure that those are engaged.
If you want to hold your action to see what's going to happen next, you can. I'm not against that.
Yeah, I might do that, and then I'll be ready to interrupt because obviously, like, hey, I have Deadeye level 2. I can fire in melee with my fucking musket.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Reload as an
right.
on turn.
Yeah, so it swings back around towards you because it's faster than the living armors are, and it's pleading again with you, where it's like, please, I did want to do this, and it's going to swing a big claw at you once again, but it's going to miss.
That almost rolled onto a 20 on my screen.
Yeah, no, same for me.
Yours.
Yeah. So it swings again and just scratches the stone behind you, and now the armors are going to move onto it. And okay, this one can't reach it, so it's just going to use its entire action just to move up next to it, but it's not going to be able to attack. And this one is going to slam a big mailed fist, just sort of swings right towards this creature. It tries to hit him right in the jaw. 12 is going to miss, but it does do 3 shock damage. So it does. The thing does duck out of the way, but it just like gets a glancing blow right on its temple. And now, what do you want to do? Did you want to do anything, or are you gonna wait for the next turn to?
So I'm gonna fire first.
Okay.
I have a plan here. I'm gonna fire at this thing in melee. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I don't remember there being like a point blank advantage or anything.
No, I don't think so.
Number. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's go.
You like it's trying to turn around towards the armors as this happens, and you like put like your barrel right into its back and just fucking pull the trigger. And I'm assuming you're attacking the shadow creature, or are you attacking the animate armors?
The shadow creature. Yeah.
So you
also I don't think it added properly, but did it? Oh, I think it did actually. Okay, cool. It did. Yeah. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, either way, it's fucking dead. As you blast right through its chest, and it just falls down onto its knees and just like lets out like a bunch of just like weird black blood coming out of its mouth, and it just hits the ground dead. And it looks like, I'm gonna say, you have one round. The armors seem to be sort of almost like not stun locked, but like confused what to do next right now. You don't seem to be necessarily an apparent threat, but you actually know what, you are here after hours. They do like I'm gonna say they're gonna start maneuvering towards you, but they're not gonna attack
restrain me
right
or
this
something.
turn. Yeah, I would say this one here in the back. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. This guy in the back is still sort of processing. This guy right next to you is gonna try. I'm gonna say is gonna try and grapple you.
Well, I still have movement, right?
Oh, you do still have movement. You do. Yeah. First, you still have movement, and actually, you still have your turn because this was you wait a turn, and then it's back to you.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, not to.
No.
Immediately.
No, you should absolutely like that. That's the correct way to play.
So I mean, I'm gonna make them angrier because I'm going to. Yeah, I held my action and then shoot this like point blank with the musket.
Yeah.
Swing the sling back around and run, grab the heart. I mean, there was a gunshot. I yell like, someone's up here and they've got a gun.
Yeah, you hear footsteps from like the animated armors down below and the guards. I would say there's probably like almost like a church bell that's like sort of like above the museum that's like dong dong dong, like it's like the whole place is lit up.
Yeah, and they're going for the stairs, and so I snatch that, kick the rope down, and drop into the front of the hall here.
All right,
on the first floor.
Yeah, you know what? So I would say, so you're grabbing that, you're doing a lot of moves, and you're trying to like get around that animate armor that's right.
Right.
So I'd say give me another exert check. I'd say Dex or Strength work. Yeah. So you grab that, kick down the rope, and try and swing your way down. 10.
Yeah,
nice,
go.
Absolutely good. Fucking
we're gonna get into like an actual combat, and I'm just gonna get fucking flat.
Yeah, just one bullet to the head. Like, yeah, you grab that, and you sort of just kick off, and you jump right down onto, I would say, like the bow of the ship, and you land onto there. And so, what do you want to do? The front doors are ahead of you. There's that carriage off to the right alcove. There's a guard who's up on the stairs who like hears your footsteps hit the ground. He's pretty far back, and like the animate armors are pretty slow moving. But they're like, what? And so what do you want to do?
I'm just gonna be like, they're still up there, and then book it for the front door.
Amazing. Yeah, so you jump off the bow and just hit the ground, and you start running for the front door. Okay, so we'll just go back to the first floor now, and you make it out to the front door. And when you're there, it's a little bit tight here, unfortunately. These guys are a little bit further back than it looks, but I'm just gonna put them there so you can actually like see them. I don't know if you can see that guy there.
Yeah, I can see like the.
It looks like right now there's a Scarlet Archive member, and it looks like there's, I'm gonna say 2 thugs. They look like guards, but like these are just like guys. They obviously just like a mercenary company they hired. And you just run out to the front there, and you see them. You see like more people in the distance, like getting up towards this museum. So it looks like there's only these 3 for now, but it looks like there's reinforcements coming. What do you want to do? The Scarlet Archive member says, "Hey, stop! What are you doing? Hey!"
Okay, so I can reload as an on turn, which is like something you can do for free or like while you're moving. And I jumped down and was running through. I don't want to get into a fight with 3 guys. I don't want to get into a fight here at all, frankly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that, or can I do this? So while I was running, I'm reloading my gun, but instead of actually loading it with shot, I load way too much powder into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when I run out the front door, right, and they're like there, and I point the gun at them and fire, and it doesn't shoot anything, obviously. It just makes a huge fucking cloud of rifle smoke.
Oh, nice.
And I use that I put it between me and them, more or less, and use that to duck out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you do that. There's probably like also like a really bright flash. You guys it's at nighttime, so the really bright flash, and then just smoke pouring out of there. Yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, you're able to do that. It's like he's coughing, and they're like after her. I'm gonna say, give me I would say maybe a stealth check or an exert check, whichever one I'll give you a +1 either way, just for like the distraction that you're adding to this. So I'd say, are you trying to sneak around and stay somewhat close, or are you just trying to like, you're just out of here? Are you just like, you're just running and getting out of here?
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to book it. Yeah,
okay.
I'll do the exert.
Sounds good. Yeah, give me that exert check.
You said add a +1, right?
Yeah, just from the smoke buying you some time and at nighttime and everything, so it's a little bit. Oh my god. Okay, nice. Got yourself a 12.
So well.
So you do that. They're coughing. The Scarlet Archive member took the full brunt of the smoke too, so they're just like keeled over right now with all this like smoke in their lungs. And you're able to get yourself quite a bit of distance. And I will say, like, as you're turning the corner, you're gonna the reinforcements the other way are gone, but as you're coming around the side here, it looks like one of these mercenaries that they've hired, who's in like the same sort of garb, comes around on a horse and sort of sees you and just tries to like run directly at you, and he's just going to try and make a spear attack. You have outrun basically everybody else except for this guy who's like coming around. So he's just going to make a quick spear attack towards you. He's charging you down. Oh my god. 13 is not going to hit. Yeah, so you're able to duck right out of the way, and he sort of like tries to get his horse under control. And
can I try to throw him off the horse?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd say it's your turn now. So what do you? Are you going to make like an attack roll against him, or are you like, what are you doing to?
So the thing I would ideally want to do, which you know, say no if it's a little too over the top, would be like to throw him off the horse and take the horse.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that'd be possible. I would say that would be a check then. It'd be a tough check to like in this move to get him off the horse and grab the horse. Yeah, I'll say we'll do an opposed exert check. I think strength exert versus yours. So he's
all right. Let's see. Oh wow, I've actually been rolling with a handicap because actually I don't know if that's gone in there. Never mind. I never know which of the skills on this like work properly and add their modifiers and which ones don't.
Oh yeah.
Because I get extra wisdom from a wisdom modifier from, not that it matters here.
Yeah.
Okay, so exert, I'll do dex, because that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh my god.
Yay, let's go.
Yeah, so you got a 10, he got an 8. Yeah, so as he tries to like get you with the spear, I don't know, how do you see this happening? He tries to run you down with the spear. How do you see this reversal going on?
So he's on a horse, tries to run me down with the spear. I duck the spear in instead of out, so I'm right along the side of the horse, and I grab not the reins necessarily, but like part of the horse harness that's on the neck.
Yeah.
And use that momentum. I like grab it, use my elbow to push his foot out of the stirrup.
Yeah.
And then heave myself up on and shoulder check him off the other side of the horse.
Amazing. Yeah, so that's a like perfect fluid motion. He's just totally seeing stars as he just gets tumbled over, hits the ground.
He fell off a fucking horse. That shit hurts.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can
so
kill you.
he eats complete shit. It doesn't seem like anybody else is on a horse that's after you. Doing this did buy them some time to get up close to you, but everybody except for that, I'm gonna say the only guy who actually has a ranged weapon is a Scarlet Archive member who has a rifle, but everybody else is like with spears, so they're not able to get up to you just yet. But the Scarlet Archive member is gonna take a shot at you as you're trying to turn the horse around. So he fires off. Oh my god.
Okay, he's actually gonna hit me. Ooh, yikes.
He does 10 damage.
That doesn't kill me, but it gets really close.
How much health do you have left?
2. Oh, well, could I use danger sense for this? Once per day,
It's
before you
really
trigger trap, walk into an
building.
ambush, or otherwise do something that would get you wounded or killed.
Okay. Yeah. You've only used up your danger sense for this. I'll allow it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Where like he goes to fire and like I don't even know what that would look like. I just duck like intuitively. Like
the guy you kicked off gets up and just gets fucking shot.
That's a bit. It's fucking domed.
Yeah. Okay. So your danger sense for the day is used up then. But yeah. Is it once per scene or is it once per day? What's the?
It is once per day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I will allow that. The other guy just gets domed next to you as he tries to try and grab the horse, and you are just able to hit it and try and get out of here.
I do the like thing where I like slide down onto the side out of the saddle because again it's fucking supernatural danger sense. The guy like silently, I'm like in the middle of mounting a horse, and the dude goes to pull a gun up on me, and I go what? Like immediately and intuitively.
That's amazing. Wow. Yeah, fucking 10. I can't believe you did max damage on that too. That would have been so
I know. I did not want to get hit by that.
Yeah. Nice. Your character is very like you've rolled really well, but they've been very survivable. I like that. I like it a lot. This has been intense. Yeah. So what's your plan here? I would say you've been to Clenia before, so you kind of know the general thing, but you're not like super in depth with it. Are you trying to leave the city? Are you just trying to get to a spot where you can hide out for the night? Like what's your plan here?
Yeah, I think it's actually better for me to try to hide out because they're going to be watching the common exits. So it's a lot easier for me. They can't do that forever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier for me to try to find a bolt hole somewhere and figure out what the fuck the next, because I don't even know what I need to do next. Like I have this heart, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
time to catch my breath and talk to the brain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know what? I would say, give me a luck save. We'll see.
It's very funny that the 2 rolls I failed are both luck rolls, but I'm really lucky.
Yeah. The saves are pretty tough to actually pass.
They are, yeah. Especially luck. Like 13 up is not great.
Okay, cool. So you try to remember if there's like any sort of like Venator safe houses in the city that you might have remembered, but unfortunately there's none that are come to mind. You think there might be some, but you can't remember where they are. So I would say for Felicity, this is sort of a big mining city, big mining town. There's lots of whatever you think a town would have. Is there anywhere that you'd want to go to in particular that Felicity would think to go? Like, is there like, are you trying to go like maybe like the scuzzier side, the red market, the like red light kind of district, or are you trying to go somewhere where like it would be, maybe not as many guards go to, or are you trying to go somewhere else? Where are you?
Yeah, I actually think I would take a little bit of a non-traditional approach and go somewhere where it would be a big deal for them to cause a scene.
Oh, so like one of the higher upper crust areas. Yeah, I mean, you do have money.
They can't just come in and beat a door down somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know what? We'll say that there is maybe we'll say there's a hotel in town in the higher upper crust area that you can get to. It's probably somewhere where like it's kind of like those things of like discretion is a big part of it. What would be a good name for upper higher end kind of still kind of skeezy place, or like not skeezy but like
not super crazy fancy. The Ratford,
I love it. Yeah, so you make your way to the Ratford. I'm not gonna make you roll for this because you're on a horse, nobody else was, so you're able to pretty much get out of here. I guess the question is, before
I obviously get rid of the horse.
I was about to ask before you get to the Ratford, you're gonna get rid of the horse.
Yeah, get rid of the horse.
So you get out of there and you get the horse out of there. You sort of like, I imagine you just like you slap its ass kind of thing where you just get out of there.
Good game. Yeah, good game.
He just kicks you in the fucking head. And yeah, so the Ratford is this big, really like marble, gorgeous building, and there's like a fountain outside. There's sort of like a gate around it. You make your way up to it, and I would say there's like two guards hired on by the Ratford that are there. One of them stops you and says, "Hey, do you have business here?
Do you have vacancy?"
And they look at each other like, yeah, I mean, if you can afford the rooms.
Then I have business here.
Yeah, and they sort of just look up and down. All right, you're have to leave your gun with the front desk though, just so you know, in case you're not aware.
Fine.
All right, go on in, and yeah, you head on in there, and there's like a very very nice lobby. It's large, with like a tall vaulted ceiling, and there's a woman at the desk there, and also a man, and they both look up because it's pretty late. Like, oh, welcome, Miss
Potter.
Potter. What can we do for you tonight?
I just need a room, just for one night. Also, would you mind if I placed my gun in? I presume you have a safe or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just in there's a back room there. There's an armory that we keep everything in.
Yeah, it's just personal heirloom. I just want to make sure it's secure.
Yes, absolutely. Len here will just go there with you. He grabs like a little keychain thing with a number on it. He's like, come with me. And he unlocks the door for you. And she just says, "Well, I'll get your room ready for you." I'm assuming, do you want one of the penthouses, or do you want one of our regular suites? What are you looking for?
I'll take a normal room.
Okay. Yeah, she says I'll be 75 silver for the night, which is like exorbitantly.
That's a shitload of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pay it.
Yeah.
So when I go put the gun down, I'm gonna use Trapmaster and trap it so no one touches it.
Ooh, I love it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So you go over. There's like a bunch of different like gun racks and different things, and he doesn't even come in fully with you. Kind of just opens the door, lets you go.
Stands at the door.
Yeah. And whatever, like he just tells you to put like in one of the numbers and gives you like a key and like a number that matches it. He says, "There you go, Miss Potter. And I'll bring you to your room." And they grab stuff and go up, and it's like, well, do you want dinner tonight? The kitchen's still open. We can bring it up to you if you're still hungry.
That'd be great.
Sounds good. Yeah. And so he leads you up there. You get to. It's a very nice room. It's not like gigantic, but it's obviously very well kept.
Fucking better be. I'm paying the equivalent of like $800 for this.
Honestly, probably the nicest bed you probably slept in either ever or in a very long time
at least. Yeah.
But it's a huge amount, and I would say that even if you walk by, you get a Miss Potter, and they actually write down like a different name on the table or like on the ledger where you are. It seems like there's no way he's gonna know that you're here. Good. And yeah, so you make it up there. They bring you food, that sort of thing. And is there anything you want to say to the brain? We're gonna close out here in a little bit, so I just don't know if there's anything if you want to close out with anything to the brain, anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say something snarky first of all, which is like, the rest of you better not be held in high security museums, or we're gonna have a problem. At the very least, I'm gonna up my fees.
Yeah. Yeah. He says, Well, I hope so too. If we can somehow connect this power source to me, I'll be able to access my memory, and maybe I can actually locate where my body is. But I think that will be an adventure for a later day. Yeah, go ahead.
I got one line I'm gonna drop, which is one little exchange.
Yeah.
Which is you said you've been listening to people's thoughts from down there, right?
Yes.
And you can hear mine, presumably. You know what Venators are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then consider this a contract, because I'm sure as hell not doing this for promises anymore.
And he says, absolutely, I will fulfill every part of my word. You've been honestly the only person I can trust so far. You've been able to do everything for me. I will make sure that you get paid in full. You'll get everything you require from me. I'll make sure of it.
Yeah. I grab the sigil from out of my pocket and clasp it, and then put it back in.
Perfect.
I'm ready for bed.
Yeah. 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 There's a big sort of deadbolt in the door. You sort of close the curtains, eat, and probably have
what a day. 2 hot showers in the same day.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like bottle service. It's just like you're getting every last ounce out of this. But yeah, we sort of just close off sort of like a almost like a craning drone shot, just like leaving the tower or leaving the hotel, and that's where we'll end off for today. Woo!
Hey.
All right, thank you, Jack. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was really fun.
We'll see where things
I rolled so well the whole day.
That was insane. Yeah, I was still trying to make complications that would somewhat still be interesting, because I was like, okay, you're still passing so much, so let's see what you can do. When you got shot and you're like, actually, can I use my digits? I was like, damn it.
No. I did like it though, like you said, like it was fun. It's not always fun if you pass every roll, but the the situations and consequences were interesting enough that I didn't feel like
I think the tension and
want to
pressure
fail
matters
something.
more than
Right, the actual result. Yeah.
Yeah, things could have still gone very wrong, but I think it's one of those things that I don't like punishing you just for the sake of interesting when you literally went like, well, I'm putting a rope here, I'm doing this, like I'm thinking about things. Don't punish me. Like if I'm rolling well and I'm thinking ahead, like I should be rewarded, which I think is all that it needs to be, you know.
Right, yeah. Especially in like we've talked about before, but like especially in a game where it's like it doesn't really have mechanics to dig you out of holes.
Yeah.
So like there's no reason to put you in more holes than you already have,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like I can't narratively I can't spend stress like we're playing Forge in the Dark and flash back to why I actually thought about this.
Yes,
like
exactly. The foci can do that just enough where because I'm already adding narrative elements, like asking you questions about things. That's why I'm like, okay, well, I think that makes sense for these things. These foci are good here, and you're spending.
Yeah.
You don't have many foci, so I like when you want to use it to like, well, this is your use. You get
exactly.
you
yeah.
use it. Yeah.